First of all, if I take you to the Scottish Ministerial Code, in your foreword to that, you say that it is essential to set and maintain the highest standards of propriety and openness for government ministers. Do you think that Keith Brown's response to this committee on the 18th of October meets those standards?
Yes. Sorry, is it the letter?
The letter. It's in Annex D.
I understand there is a typo in that letter in terms of a particular date which the committee will be getting a written clarification on. But subject to that, yes, I do think it meets those standards.
And do you think he answers the questions which the committee put to him?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well.
But if there are any points that beyond those answers that the committee wants to explore, that's obviously why I'm here today.
Okay, well, I mean, the three questions were responded in answers that constituted 150 words. I mean, last time I wrote to Keith Brown on two subjects, one subject, the fatal accident inquiry and Alan Marshall, he responded in 1,000 words. When I wrote to him about the miners' strike pardon bill, he responded in 866 words. Do you really think that a reply that is constituted of just 150 words is a satisfactory response to the serious inquiry being carried out by the Parliament?
Well, firstly, Convener, I believe and am of the view that Keith Brown answered the questions put to him by the committee. But secondly, and perhaps more substantively for the purposes of today, I'm the First Minister. I'm here to answer any questions, and the committee has me for as long as the committee wants this morning. I'm not sure anybody's going to do a word count on either the questions or the answers, but I'm here to answer, to the best of my ability, any questions that the committee has. The committee, of course, I don't know if the committee has invited Mr Brown to give evidence in the way that I am doing today. The committee is perfectly free to do so, but I'm here today as the head of the Scottish Government to answer any questions you put to me. Okay, well, I mean, the committee will consider what its next steps are after today. But let me move on to something else. Another response we got recently, in fact, it was just last week, and therefore arrived a week late, was from Transport Scotland. In the covering letter, Michelle Quinn, the Chief Executive Officer of Transport Scotland, said that the organisation had a commitment to absolute transparency. But the correspondence that they shared with us was an incomplete, censored version of Derek Mackay's letter of the 2nd of February 2015 to Stuart McMillan. It wasn't even redacted. It was cut. To mislead? I don't know. But do you think that's an acceptable way for a government organisation to act? Well, as it happens, I raised that particular issue last night as I was reading documents in preparation for today. That has been an error, but the letter in full, as I think can be substantiated from this committee's website, is there published in full. So the formatting of the letter that was sent by Transport Scotland omitted, in the way it was formatted, a couple of paragraphs. I noticed that last night, so I'm not surprised the committee has noticed it as well. I have the full letter here in front of me. The committee has the full letter, and I'm happy to answer questions on the entirety of the letter. I don't believe that there was any intention to mislead, not least because it would have been very obvious to anybody who had any knowledge of this. So I think taking all of that into account, I am satisfied that that has been an inadvertent formatting error, but it doesn't change the fact that the full information is before the committee. Well, it may be an inadvertent formatting error, but it excluded the two most significant paragraphs in that letter. Let me turn to another point. The fact that you know that, it kind of underlines the point I'm making. The full letter is on your committee website, and therefore the idea that somehow that would have pulled the wool over anybody's eyes is, I think, stretching credibility. But we asked Transport Scotland to disclose that letter, that correspondence, and they gave us a version which wasn't even redacted, but it was severely edited. As I said, I noticed that last night. You have noticed it. I have asked the question of Transport Scotland, how did that happen? And I believe that was an error. The fact of the matter is, we all have the full letter. I'm very happy, actually, because I think that letter has been, in many respects, the tone and the tenor and the content of that letter has been misrepresented, to be perfectly frank. So I'm very happy indeed, to go into as much detail as you want about every single paragraph of that letter.
OK, but we've only got that letter because it was provided to us by Stuart McMillan. Can I ask another